Everyone.
Everybody come in as they come in. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We know that things have been crazy outside of our houses, and so we appreciate everyone for tuning in despite all of that. Hope we can keep it positive here and have each other to lean on in times like these, and spread the word and support each other of things that everyone's doing and everything like that. You already know, Ladies of Sound Community Chat. We are connecting with our community online, and it's a space for meeting other people, sharing stories, knowledge, tips, and tricks. And again, you guys already know your favorite part, the house rules. Please make sure you are on mute. We're not speaking. Send all questions in the chat room. We'll try to answer them all. We'll have a Q&A portion towards the end of our chat. But again, we're going to actually do something different. If you aren't shy, you don't want to type it into the chat, we'd love for you guys to unmute yourselves when the questions come and speak to our guests yourselves. Speaking of guests, our special guest for today is DJ Right Toast. I with her intro of me, but Ryan, DJ Right Toast. You see here, yoga for DJs, Tyrone's job.
Oh, certified hustler.
And myself and Sammy G, I'm Marisol, and Sammy G is also here.
What's up, everyone?
So today we wanted to, we know you guys have met Ryan obviously in person at our events and obviously going to her events and things like that, following her on Instagram. But we wanted to have her today so we could actually have a real sit-down conversation and get to know her, and share that information and all the stories that she has, and just talk about Ryan in general and share that with the community. So Ryan, say hello.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's nice to see some familiar faces here. And it's just nice to be in the presence of our community. I've missed you guys, you girls, ladies, and guys.
Everyone. Yeah. No, we miss everyone. It is great to be able to see people, that we normally saw every other day or every week at the school. And right, we would always run into you somehow, some way. So it's great to have you today.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. So Ryan, we wanted to, get to know you on a different level and then more intimate setting. So I'm going to bring this up here.
Oh, you're going to get to know me so good. We're taking it all the way back.
So I have not seen this picture before. I've seen the one where you're, but not the before, but I've seen.
I dug that one up.
Yeah, Sam dug that one up on Instagram, and she said that was free game to post because it's already on Instagram. But I want to know more about that, Ryan. I know we know each other from the school. We'll get into that later, but please tell me a little bit of background on this picture. By the way, that Bruce Lee poster, dope.
I know. I wish I still had that. Now I have Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's good. Different phases, for different parts of your life. Anyway, that was college. You can see by the flip phone and the polo shirt.
The polo shirt.
That was probably the first or second month I got turntables. And so I had just turned 21. For my 21st birthday, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get turntables. And I went to the store. My friend had a set with a mixer, and so I was like, $500? Fuck yeah, and I can have all this shit? Great. So I take it, go home, and realize I need a receiver. So I go back and get a receiver, and then I go home and I'm like, shit, wait, I need speakers. Then I go get a speaker, and then I'm like, fuck, I need needles. Then I go out. These are all these different trips, and then I'm like spending way more money than I ever thought. But finally, I have all the shit. And that picture probably happened a few weeks after that.
That's so funny.
Wow, you got that set up at 21.
Yeah, that was my 21st birthday present to myself. And I didn't really know, what was going to happen, but I just had an instinct, so I went with it. And actually, those are these turntables right here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, see, they always be lasting hella long like that.
Yeah, and I brought them around the country. I brought them international. Like, dope. Turntables might wobble, but they don't fall down.
Oh my
What
gosh.
even led to that point where you decided on
Yeah,
your
what made you want to buy that for, treat yourself on your 21st? What led you to say, I'm just going to grab these? Like,
Oh, okay. So I had this like extreme obsession with hip hop as a kid, and I was always that person. I played like every sport, and I would always like make the mixes and bring the boombox on the bus, and like make the mixes for like the layup lines and the warm ups and the fucking running out and whatever. And then in college, I was really fortunate to go to school in a small town called Burlington, Vermont. And they used to get crazy acts that came through there, but the venues were really small. So you'd be seeing like Redman and Method Man with like 100 people. And you could just feel like the energy of it. And so I would always buy a record at those shows, even though I didn't have turntables. I was just like, fuck it. I like these things. And I would, you guys ever like, okay, when I was single and someone would hit on me, I'd always like make up an alias and like a fake life and like just go with it.
Uh-huh.
And my alias and fake life, I was always a DJ.
what?
So like in college, when I would be like flirting with people, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm a DJ. My name's Veronica, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, well, fuck it. Like if this is me in my fantasy life, like why don't I try to make it me in my real life? And I did. I actually tried to be DJ Veronica at first.
Really? You never knew that?
Oh, thanks, Jordan. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Like there's like 1 or 2 flyers with that on it, and that's it.
DJ Veronica, I love Rightos, but that's so, that whole like, alias of yourself when you beat people, that's so funny how it like fruitioned into like a real thing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, for me, like, I used to go to all the shows. When I went to college, I was 17, so I couldn't even go to the 18 and up shows. I was just sneaking into everything, befriending every doorman, befriending every DJ. I had hella fake IDs. I was at all the shows, soaking in this energy, and I'll never forget. You know what? Oh my god! I just got chills. Yo, I will. This is crazy. That was when I first like, okay, so I'm going to these shows and I'm like, fuck, I love this. I had this phase where I was like partying a lot and I was like getting backstage and like kind of being like, not like being a groupie, but like sort of like on the fringe, but just not only because like I just loved it so much. I loved the culture. I wanted to be around it. And I was like, fuck, how can I get involved in this thing? I don't see myself as a rapper. I don't see myself as a producer. I don't see myself as a beat girl or like a graph writer. So I feel like my only avenue in hip hop is through DJing. And then I went to a show to see this guy, DJ Spooky, and who was opening up this act I had never heard about from the Bay Area called The Coop. Who was their DJ? Fucking Pam the Funkstress.
Oh.
Yeah, and that was the first time I ever saw a woman DJ.
What year was that?
The lightning bulb went off, and I was like, holy shit, I could do that. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, Sam said, what year was that you got to see Pam?
That must have been, I'm 20, so 2003.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's
Oh, so
awesome you got to see her do her thing, because I mean, there weren't, I mean, obviously in this world in general there aren't that many of us, but to see Pam on the stage like that must have been so impactful. I mean, clearly now, especially being a Bay Area, she's so big in the Bay Area, and Pam's God rest her soul, she's there's a foundation for her, so it's nice to see that her legacy is still living on. But it's so awesome to see what she's done for you and where that's led for you today.
She did more than that for me, like, because I never forgot that. I'll never forget, like, she used to do this thing where she would like whip out her titty and put it on the turntable and scratch. Like, you guys know me, like, that's my shit.
That's your shit. That is your shit.
Yes. Scratching? Yes.
I wish I had a video of that right now, because if you guys have not seen Pam the Funkstress do the titty scratch, like, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. I'm like, whoa, I can't believe she did that. And
So empowering. Like, so, okay, so she did that. And then flash forward 4 years later or so. Oh yeah, definitely. You can find it on YouTube. I'm actually going to look it up too. So I'll be sending y'all a link, or I'll probably post a video now that I remember this amazing story.
Yeah.
But check it out. So 4 years later or so, I graduated college. I ended up moving to the Bay and started going to her events and seeing her DJ out there with the coupe and just doing her own Pam the Funksters thing. Then I started DJing. Then we actually started doing parties together and became friends and allies and colleagues. And I went to her restaurant in the Bay, and I remember even all the way up to her getting the Prince gig, I was the other person that they were considering for that gig.
no way.
I got a call saying, yo, are you free to do this tour? Prince, blah, blah, blah. The other person we're talking to is Pam the Funkstress. So, who knows, but like, you're in the mix. And the next thing I knew, she got the gig, and I swear to God, like, I was so fucking happy for her. Like, I wasn't even mad, because like, she fucking deserved that shit, and like, it was just so perfect. But like, I couldn't believe how we stayed intertwined that whole time. It's really cool. And that's so awesome. Warm, down to earth person. Like, she had no ego whatsoever. She was just like all about what she loved, which was DJing and cooking and just like being light.
Yeah, that just proves the power of what happens when you see another woman in the spotlight, or in the front, on stage, not behind stage. This is the power of what happens, the ripple effect, right? I'm sure all the other shows, she must have lit that fire in a ton of other women just like you, right?
Absolutely. Like, if you never see it, it's really hard to imagine it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important that we get exposed to things like that,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what I love, if you guys aren't aware, whatever it is, the Bay Area and DJing, it's really special. That's one thing I can honestly say. The Bay Area reps hard for their DJs, and I really love that, because the community is strong. They support each other. If you guys haven't been up there, I mean, man, it's a whole different vibe, and I really do love it. And Ryan, you come from that, because I've actually seen you connect with your peeps from the Bay, since I've known you, and it's really amazing to see all of you guys still have that strong sense of community and that friendship, even after all these years, and you now living in Los Angeles. So speaking of which, so how long now, you saw Pam, you were inspired by her, you built this great friendship with her. When did Rye Toast happen? Like, what was that from? You went from being Veronica to Rye Toast. You had already been in the scene in the Bay. What was that like for you in the very beginning, in terms of like, you gigging and just making a name for yourself?
Well, it was fun. Like, what really happened was, when I first bought those turntables, I was really like, in that picture you saw me, I was in my room in my house in college, which was the whole top floor of our house. And it was like 4 babes who just like love to party. And then I would always be DJing upstairs. So that was like the mix. It was like, there's parties going on, there's kegs downstairs, then there's like Rye Toast and the cypher going on upstairs. And not long after that, I actually started dating a professional DJ. And he was so good that it actually made me give up on DJing for a while, because I felt embarrassed trying to learn DJing in front of him. And that's like one thing I just want to say to anyone who's watching. Like, if you ever get lucky enough to be around someone who does something that you love and they're better than you, soak that shit up. Don't let your ego get in the way like I did. So anyway, I put DJing on the back burner and just was like his little cheerleader for a couple of years. And then this motherfucker cheated on me and dumped me. So I was like, fuck you. I'm moving to San Francisco. Send me my fucking turntables and my records. And that's how Rye Toast really got started.
Oh,
Hey, moved by that shit. I'm gonna take that negative and turn it to a positive. Fuck you.
yeah.
My
That's so funny. I mean, I feel you on that. Just all that happening, had pretty much the same kind of thing happen, right? And then you just get like this fire. You're like, I'm gonna learn on my own, you know. I'm gonna figure this out. Yeah, I didn't need you anyway to learn all this, right? So
yeah, no, it actually held me back. So
yeah.
I think I'm actually, even though I've considered myself like a loving, positive person, I'm actually a spite DJ.
No, you're loving and sweet. You're just unfuckwittable at the same time. Is all.
Hey, I love that.
Right? That's so funny.
So I'm gonna share this next slide because we have to talk about all of this right here. Ryan. If you guys don't follow Ryan already, please do. If there's anyone that I have, when it comes to being a jack of all trades or just wearing so many hats, I mean, Ryan totally embodies that. And she's one of my inspirations because this woman just doesn't DJ. Okay. You guys we'll go through the whole gamut of what Ryan does. But I'm going to talk about these pictures here because if you see these pictures where the photo shoots more so, from my background being a photographer, creative direction is so fun, so inspiring, and a lot of the times, when you're the person being, you're in the photo, that's not something you're going to think about, right? But Ryan does. So that's what I love about Ryan is because she'll express herself in not only through music, it's also in these other forms of expression. So Ryan, I know that you're DJing. You're also, if you guys don't know, Ryan is also in a group called Tyrone's Jacket. Please look that up. We'll share more information on that soon. But you see here, is this you? So Tyrone's Jacket, the picture with her, on stage with the mic in front of her, that is, on stage. Where is that?
That was at the Del Mar racetrack last summer.
Oh, last summer?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, I'm like about last summer, like it's so long ago.
Yeah, we have a photo soon that'll show kind of the crowd.
Yeah,
of it,
yeah.
But,
So as you guys can see, Ryan really goes all out in terms of how she presents herself, which I think, we're all learning ourselves as we are becoming DJs. And again, I bring up the whole creative direction is because Ryan, you have the Sonic radio boombox there, and I know we had talked about this, but in terms of the creative direction, what's the whole inspiration behind that shoot, and tell us more about your thought process in that.
Well, you guys really want to know the truth? It started on an ayahuasca journey. And I was having some issues with self-doubt. And in this vision, I saw myself as like this, like you said, Sammy, unfuckwithable version of myself. And what did that look like? And it was like golden, and it had wings, and it had like snakes like on its head and high tops, and it was like flying and leaping and like hugging people in its magical arms and like making everyone feel love, love, love. And I was like, that's me. Like that's how I'm trying to show up in the world. And I want to bring that image to life so that I always remember to be that person.
I love that. And I know that's for our students, even debuting as a DJ and then going through all of what you're supposed to do for yourself for branding and marketing and doing photo shoots. That's really hard. I mean, I know I still don't get comfortable in front of the behind the camera, or in front of it, I'm sorry. I guess it just depends, but I love that that's your thought process into You know, you're like, I'm going to show up as this version of myself that I'm creating, and then that's how I'm going to live it. I love that, Ryan.
Yeah, it's like a reminder, like a mantra, something that just reminds you like who the fuck you really are, and not to let like, don't live your life as a reaction to events and people's dumb shit and like whatever. Like, hold down your space, be you, take care of that space, and bring that to everything that you do, and watch how your world changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your creativity and your freedom with it is definitely all part of you genuinely, but also just your persona as a DJ, right? Like I can see like I feel like I could see like 3 different colors and I'll think of you. Like, you know what I mean? Like I could see like a pink, aquamarine, and an orange, and I'll think about Ryan.
Dude, that's my fucking logo.
Yeah. And I just think, I think that's so strong. That really means that you've really honed in on yourself, you know?
It's a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
Really a work in progress. And I can say that quarantine has really, I think, made some big shifts happen for me, for a lot of my friends, for like the course of my life, like my inner relationship with myself that I'm always like on this journey towards. It's like, it's so intense right now. I just feel so like present with that internal kind of growth, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And I love like, so that the next picture where you're all matching, like you match your decks, like you know, this is a whole nother level of presentation, everybody, and I hope you are taking when it comes to, if you're trying to figure out like your branding and your marketing. A perfect example is Ryan. I mean, it's so inspirational, Ryan, and it's every time I see you, you're just this beaming light, you know, whether the day's been hard or not. You always have that light, and you're like that. I could see you from like across the room, like there she is, like with her fly ass outfit. I mean, you know, I need to build on that confidence for myself. But like, you know, that's why one of the many reasons why I wanted to bring you on, because I hope that, you know, my students take that as an inspiration point for themselves when it comes to, you know, looking for their DJ persona or how they want to portray themselves and all of that. And I mean, that's why, I mean, Sam, did you send all these pictures, Ryan, or Sam, did you pick some of them? Because I mean,
I pulled some of them.
yeah, these are like, I just love it, right? It's, I mean, even you're matching your turntable, your jacket, your hair, it's so thoughtful. And we don't talk about that a lot in DJing at all, right? When it comes to like the presentation. And you know, one thing that is remarkable about this is like, if I saw Ryan and I didn't know Ryan and I saw her on the turntables like that, I'm not forgetting her. It's memorable. She made an impression on me, whether I got to talk to her or not. Not only did she like make my ears happy, I'm visually like, damn, like who is that? Who's that walking through the door? You know, so Ryan, like, kudos. I love that you bring that side of DJing, and like, that's what I love about also the femininity of it, being a woman. Like, you just have all this room to play and you do it, and you, like you said, you're just like, fuck it, like this is who I am, this is how I'm gonna come out, and it, like, look, it shows. It's so awesome. I'm gonna ask you, so now we know you as Rightos the DJ. Tyrone's jacket, I touched a little bit on that. What year did that happen? And if you guys don't know, Ryan's husband, Carl, is also in that group. And that's something that Ryan and I actually, you know, get to talk about in terms of like working with your partner, and sometimes what, you know, what you go through with that. How's that been? Because you guys have, oh man, you guys were touring. I mean, you guys were doing everything. And then now you guys have like a single coming out. I mean, guys don't stop. And then you do it together, and then you have your own thing. I mean, that's why I just like, you have to be on here. Like, you just do so many things, and I just hope that like helps push everybody to do all these things and not feel bogged down by everything else that's going on. But yeah, please tell us about Tyrone's jacket.
Man, Tyrone's jacket has been like one of the most rewarding projects of my life. Being able to do music with my husband, and also this amazing, our best friend Noah, who's in the middle. It's been a level up in every way, because like how this whole thing started was Noah and Carl were, you know, I had an MPC. I moved in with Carl. He started using my MPC. Cutso taught him how to use it.
Mm.
He started making beats, and he'd always done music. Noah started coming over to our house, and I would be cooking, and Carl would be making beats, and Noah would be rapping, and they started putting out music. They started getting shows, and they were just Mud Lux and Noah King, and they needed a DJ. So I was like, of course I'm going to DJ for my boyfriend. Like,
Yeah.
that's so cute. Duh. And we started performing, but we started getting a lot of shows. And like, I was like turning down Ride Toast gigs to do their gigs. And I think it just became evident that the three of us had somewhat of a vibe. And so they were like, Rye, we actually want to change the situation and do this as a group with you and make it and call it its own thing. Eventually we came up with a name. But that's a big jump in DJing. Like to go from DJing like a club to performing on stage with a group as a musician it's not the same thing. And I was feeling that as I was performing with them. I was feeling like something's missing for me. I don't just want to be back here pressing play on the record. And I didn't know how to scratch yet, and I didn't know anything about turntablism, and I didn't even know where to start. All I knew was that what I was doing at that moment was not going to cut it for very long as these stages get bigger, you know? Mm-hmm. And so right as I was having that epiphany, coming off our first tour, fucking Beat Junkies opened.
Mm.
Yes.
So it was that spring, I think it was 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess we started in the fall of 2016, and by 2017, we'd already done our first national tour. And I was like, fuck, I need to learn more about DJing. Like,
oh, wow.
To be on stage with these guys. And Carl is he's a master musician, and Noah is the most talented MC that I've ever heard in my life, dead or fucking alive. So to stand shoulder to shoulder with kings like that, I didn't feel I was on the level. And so that's what motivated me to go to Beat Junkies and start like what I feel like is kind of like the second coming of my DJ career, because at that time I was sort of like flatlining a little bit and feeling like, what am I doing? I'm a little bit bored. I don't know if I still want to do this, but like, this is what I came here to do. So what's up? And then the light bulb went off. Like, no, I do want to do this. And this is how I could actually reignite my passion. Because as a hip hop head, I always wanted to learn scratching and turntablism. But being like a female DJ in the early 2000s, I just started getting gigs, like, because there weren't a lot of us, and it was like a novel thing. And that really put out my fire to like really study turntablism, I think, because I just started working. But I always felt like, coming from a hip hop background, I always felt like I wanted to learn that. And I felt kind of weird that I didn't know it. I felt like I was kind of like getting off easy. But I ignored that feeling, and I kept getting my money. And then Tyrone's Jacket came around, and I was like, okay, Ryan, it's time to grow some ovaries and step inside the dojo.
Yeah, it's great that you brought that up, because you know, there does come a time, or at least for a lot of women, or actually a lot of DJs, where you're just like, man, I should probably learn how to do this, right? Like, and as a woman too, like, it can be easy to just be like, I'd rather not, you know, like, I'm getting these gigs either way, like, why make it any harder for myself? But I commend you for kind of reevaluating yourself, you know.
It really was like a moment in my life, because I had these two guys that I really loved and respected so much, telling me they wanted to do this with me. And I had this part of myself feeling like I'm not good enough to do it. But then again, like, I don't want to not do it because of that. Like, I don't want to not do it because I know it's going to be fucking hard to be this person. Like, actually, I really want to be this person. I want to learn all that shit. I want to focus. Like, I want to like be a student again. And it's like I love DJing. So it just reinvigorated my passion. And now I feel like a student every single day. I feel humbled by DJing constantly. It's a major meditation for me, and it's very therapeutic. Like, I couldn't wait to just scratch today because I was having such a hard emotional day with just the climate of what's going on mixed with what I'm trying to do. It just feels like it's not in flow, but I know that it is in the big picture. And I'm really like stoked that like my career is also my tool to like get myself through a difficult thing, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And for those of you who don't know or haven't listened to the podcast, uh, when we first opened the doors in 2017, I can honestly say that Ryan was probably one of the first women on one hand that walked through the door. And then we had, at the time, we had the classes structured differently where there was like beginner level, intermediate, and advanced. So that's how the classes were structured first. And when here comes Ryan, and this is me seeing Ryan's name as Ryan, and honestly we were like, oh well, we kind of recognize some of the names on the roster, and they're like, oh, do you know who Ryan is? I'm like, no, I haven't seen Ryan and all of that kind of stuff. And here I am thinking like it's gonna be a dude walking through the door, and then here comes Ryan walking in, and I'm like, hi, can I help you? Like, not knowing, like putting it together, like everybody was walking in simultaneously, and I was starting to check off the names on the list. So Ryan walks in, and I like totally don't even think that it's Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan, we're like, what? I was like, oh, what? Oh my god, I was tripping out. And this is like pre-Sam, guys, so I was like literally the only girl like in the entire place for a very long time, and I was so happy that Ryan walked through the door. And then on top of that, we were like, oh shoot, I didn't ask if she had any experience or anything like that. And one thing I respect about you, Rye, is like, you didn't come in there just like you were obviously putting in work before coming to the school, and it showed. And we were like, whoa, like Ryan already had some scratches under her belt. And just so you guys know, the person she mentions, Cutso, guys remember Abby Wan, one of our little girls and little ladies of sound, that's her uncle. So she, Ryan's been around a lot of really amazing people. And again, the Bay Area has such a strong DJ culture. Ryan did not just walk in and just like, I don't know anything. No, Ryan came in and actually did some work on herself prior to coming in, and just, worked with us and refined her skills, and was just like hanging with the guys. And it was so inspirational for me to see Ryan do this and literally be the only girl in class. So and then fast forward to today, and I got to see Ryan go through all of this. Like, she's telling me about Tyrone's jacket, and then next thing you know, Ryan is doing beats, balance, and flow. I mean, there's just so many things that I respect about you that keeps me going, because despite everything, me and you are always like, we're always like, what's the next thing, or what are we going to do? We have things you want to accomplish, we have things you want to execute. And as my peer, it's so awesome to see you continually push through, because it makes me want to keep pushing through too, despite what's going on, whether it's personal or just the world, or just work gets too hard. I've never seen Ryan really like falter, though I'm sure we have our own private moments, and both of us do. But she keeps going, that's for sure. And also I want to commend you, Rai, is the whole I'm leaving it on this particular slide, because you guys don't see that nowadays, right? When is the last time you really have seen well, one, you don't see someone like Ryan, like Ryan, like, look at that crowd. You don't see somebody with, there's two MCs and a DJ. It's very rare. So the fact that you even are in this position, and as this lone woman, I mean, I can't even imagine how many, you say you saw Pam, I mean, what about all the girls in that crowd? They're probably like feeling that same way about you when they see you on stage and everything like that. When it comes to like your guys's like creative process as a group, I mean, you put not only the effort into the music, you guys, like your visuals, like your photo shoots, your music videos. I mean, what goes what goes into that, and how is that, like, especially working with your significant other?
It's like a very soul-bearing process. You know, you see a lot of someone and you show a lot of yourself, and some of it's like not always comfortable, but it's very rewarding, and like you get so close, you know. And it's been a journey, like finding my voice within the group. I think especially the way that I joined, being like, at first it was them and I was just the DJ. Like, I feel like that kind of set it up for me to already feel like maybe I don't have as much ownership. But but that was really just me, my own perception of like my worth and my value that I bring to the group. And um I've been like learning to use my voice and like speak my ideas and like not hold shit back, and like that I actually have a lot to bring to the table besides DJing. And if I don't share that, that's my bad, really. So fuck like feeling stupid for having a silly idea or whatever. Maybe that's the idea that gets you to the great idea, that gets you to the smash hit. But like it's all part of the process. So it's a constant practice of like putting your ego to the side, letting shit go, staying open in the moments where you feel yourself want to harden up and close, just being like, no, this is what I'm here for. This is what it's about. You know, like today we were both, you know, like preparing to release a song and then a video is no small feat as an independent artist. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, we're creating content, we're shooting, we're doing marketing strategies, we're editing video, we're doing Photoshop, we're doing an email blast, we're doing a YouTube live premiere, we're doing a Bands in Town campaign, we're doing a Facebook campaign. It's like, it's so many things.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And the video is also, like, it felt like it was done a few weeks ago, but then all these little things started popping up and everyone started chiming in. So like, also we're like editing the video to like today, you know, because just the way shit goes. So like, it's not always fun because of shit like this. And you don't want to, like, you're frustrated about band shit and then you could take it out on your person. But it's also like we're getting so good at keeping that shit separate and like taking care of our own energy first and then meeting the other person. And like today we were able to get through this difficult day with using our tools, which are breathing and music and yoga. And like we ended up fucking working on a beat and writing, and it turned our whole day around. So, and then just being on tour, like we've learned so much and we've leveled up so many ways as like a man and a woman, and then also as like a partnership. Mm-hmm. It's weird. Like people are like, oh, that must be so crazy. But like for me, I'm like, this is how it is. Like I couldn't have it any other way. I love being on the road and I wouldn't want to leave my significant other home. That would suck. Yeah. So like it's super blessed, and it's also really challenging, but I appreciate the challenges because they're making me better at everything else too. So I welcome it.
Yeah, that's, I mean, you just went through that whole list of everything that goes into even just.
You know me, I know it.
Girl, when you were listening, I'm like, ooh, I know, me and Sam know that list. Yeah. Very, very well. And then having to keep going through that list despite what else may be going on, it's a lot. But like you guys channeled, you know, that into a positive thing by, you're like, let's make a beat today, right? And celebrate, you know, let's just celebrate this launch of the hard work and collaboration that we've put in together. Now I know that you we're gonna go to more photos. Actually, like a lot of exciting things. You know, man, that photo is so awesome. You've done so many exciting things within the last year. I mean, obviously pre-COVID. I know that you shared the news with me where you went to New York and you got to be on, you know, Sway's show on Shade 45. I'm so proud of you for that, by the way. When you told me, I like damn near wanted to cry because that would make me so nervous, one. But to see like just knowing you from when you first walked through the school to being on that show, please tell me about that. Like how was that phone call, one, and then how we never got to catch up on that. How was that experience?
It was fucking amazing, dude. Like it happened the week before everything got shut down. I'm so fortunate that they booked me for that particular week in March where I could still scoot over to New York and scoot back without fucking anything up. But there was no one on the fucking flight. And my mom lives in Westchester County, New York. So I went to stay with her because she's like a quick train ride into the city. But that's also the county where the biggest outbreak happened.
Oh, shoot.
So it was just super weird timing. Everyone was feeling really strange, but like we were still doing the thing. And I got up at like, I got in, I took a red eye, and I ended up running into my mom on an airplane in Chicago.
Wait, huh?
Wait, your mom was on the same airplane?
Yeah. I tried to plan it so I would meet her at the airport. She was coming home on a business trip, and my flight got switched at the last minute. So one of my flights, and I ended up being on her flight. That was really dope to start off with. Anyway, and then go home, go to her house, wake up at like 3 a.m. because I have to get on the train at like 6 to get to Sway by fucking 8 a.m. is my call time. So I'm just like, oh. And I brought my S9 because I just
don't want any risk. Yeah.
I need my setup, you know? So I was like, fuck it. They don't have an S9. I'm just going to bring mine across the fucking country. And that I went into, oh my God, Sirius XM has like its own block in New York. So I'm like looking for the address, like, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. Oh shit. The whole block.
Wow.
And it had its own special elevator, like just for like that section of floors. And I went up there, and this floors opened up, and it was like Sirius XM. It was all white and glass and exciting. And I was like, oh my God, I wonder who's like in all these rooms, you know? And I just like waited in a little lobby, and then they sent out one of their people to come get me and got set up. And Sway was so nice. And I did my set, and they interviewed me. And then the next guest was Neil deGrasse Tyson.
What?
I got to meet him too. And it was so cool. I know, I was so lucky. Exactly, B. You feel me? It was so magical. And then afterwards, I hung out for a little while. Oh yeah, and then Omarion came on, and it was like, "Do you want to just hang out and like chill?" And I was like,
"Yeah."
Do I?
Okay, is this ever gonna happen again? Definitely. So I sat and like watched them interview Neil, and then Omarion came on. And then I was like super tired and super hungry. I hadn't eaten anything, so I was so nervous, and I'd been up since hella early. And I took myself to a martini bar, and I had one martini. And then I went and got on the train, and I fell asleep and ended up missing my stop. And my mom had to pick me up like 3 towns later.
Oh my gosh. Side note, I would love to meet your mom just because we know who you are and how you're like I would just love to one day meet your mother. I can only imagine.
She's really cool. She's so cool. I had her on my podcast recently for my
Did you really?
You want a little intro, little 10-minute session with my mom. Check out Honeydew LA.
Yes, we gotta check that out. So, aside everything, you're still making music with Tyrone's Jacket. I've seen you're doing like some virtual gigs and things like that. But one of the exciting things we mentioned earlier was, you were doing stuff with Beats, Balance, and Flow, but you've also, and you've told me this when around, I think it was we had a conversation about this where you were, so you guys don't know, Ryan is a yoga teacher also. Yes, she's also a yoga teacher. She does so many different things, and it's amazing. And you've developed now your whole mantra when it comes to, DJing. You guys know she's DJing, she's performing, and all of these things. And Ryan has actually made these particular stretches for DJs. And I think Ryan, you have an Instagram for it now. But Ryan, tell us about your yoga for DJs. Please tell us about that because I feel like we all need that right now.
Let me take a sip of this water.
Yes, yes. Please hydrate. So important.
So yoga for DJs is something I'm really excited about. I had like a 10-year career as a full-time yoga teacher at a huge Bikram yoga studio in San Francisco, which is like the Bikram yoga capital of the United States. It's a big deal. It was a big deal at that time to be doing that job. And I was the head teacher. I was mentoring and training all the teachers. And I moved to LA and just kind of decided I wanted to focus on DJing. And plus, I was pretty burned out from teaching, to be honest. And also, like, I don't know if you guys know about the actual guy, Bikram, but he's a bad person. And all these allegations came out against him for raping students and just terrible shit like that. So I was just kind of like, I need a fucking break from this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was bad. But I was really fortunate because during that time, I found a mentor, like a lot like the way the Beat Junkies are for DJs. I found like the best yoga teacher for this particular style of yoga. Her and her husband own a studio and they mentored me. Like I lived with them. I did their whole thing. And I'm actually teaching for them now virtually, which is really dope. But I had this great experience with that dojo discipline mentality where it's like you show up for your tribe of people that you're training with, you show up for your teachers, and you give it all and you go through this shit with people. And it really impacted me a lot, even though I had to take a step back from teaching and my personal practice. Mm-hmm. And during that time, I got really out of touch with my physical body. I just was really focused on DJing. I was really focused on getting better. I felt like I needed to practice a lot of hours every single day. Otherwise, I wasn't like doing enough. So I really, and what in that schedule, self-care exercise would be at the very bottom. I would just launch into everything I felt like I had to do first. And usually I'd be way too tired at the end of the day to even take care of myself. So when quarantine came on, I was like pretty anxious and depressed in the beginning, like just like, what the fuck is going on? I had a retreat in Bali that I had to cancel. I had to refund about 40 grand to people. And trust me, that shit hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And when I'm in those places, yoga is where I go. Because it's like where I'm like, okay, I need to start from zero. I need to start digging myself out of this little hole that I have created for myself energetically. And yoga is always a good first step. It's like, let me check in with my breath. Let me check in with my body. And we'll take it from there, you know? Mm-hmm. So as I was doing that in quarantine, I would literally be in this is my workspace for DJing. But it's also like a gym.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I would always be like scratching, and then it'd be like, ow, my back hurts, my neck hurts, my wrist hurts. And then I would go on the mat and fix it. And so I was just like, during quarantine, spending so much time doing yoga, and getting asked to teach again virtually, it like made something click for me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I just need to share this with people because I'm going to be doing it anyway. I don't need to work hard at this because every time I DJ, afterwards I do this. So why don't I just start sharing that? And the only reason I hadn't been is because like I'm not certified in yoga for DJs. I have a certification in Bikram yoga, which I have taught for over 10 years. And I've been doing yoga since I was 21 also. So that's about 15 years of experience of just body awareness. And after a while, I was just like Cricket and Umami actually hit me up and they were like, yo, we need to take some yoga. And I was like, fuck it. Like, I can't put this off any longer. Shorty hit me up, Umami hit me up, and Cricket hit me up. They were like, we need yoga. I was like, fuck it. What are you guys doing Monday night? Let's just do it.
Yeah.
And I found my voice. I wrote out a sequence because I was like, I just don't want to leave anything up to chance. and it was great. And sorry, I got distracted for a minute. And now I just freestyle it because I'm literally just like kind of fixing my own body like as we go. So I know you guys are feeling all the same shit I'm feeling because we be doing all the same shit. So we have the same issues, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not feeling those things, you will in 10 years.
You're not practicing hard enough.
Well, not that.
Just kidding.
I'm practicing now because yoga is also preventative. You don't need to do it when you're already fucked up. You can, and it will help you, but you can also just start when you're good and not develop the issues that I've developed over the last few years, which is like kind of like this type of posture.
Yes.
You know, so all the stuff we do is opening all that and starting to wake up the muscles back here so that eventually you're just holding yourself in place. Look, everyone just sat up straighter.
Yeah. I was like, you're right though.
We're all like,
Well, I just cracked something right now. I wish you heard that. I just went like this and it just.
yeah, I'm telling you. So I want everyone to be able to DJ for as long as they want and feel as good as they can. And I want to just share this with everybody because I think it will help.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's one of the, many reasons why we wanted to have you on today. So let's go to that. You guys, Brian is going to be joining us next week because she's going to kick off the artist wellness series because she is absolutely right. When you guys are DJing, you're standing for long periods of time. Your posture starts to go. You're constantly looking at your computer or you're looking down and you're just doing all of these movements that only DJs can do. So she's completely right. It's all about preventative, and I should know because I had really bad carpal tunnel this week. It was, and I'm young, so the younger side, right? And I'm like, I need to start taking care of myself because if I don't, I'm really gonna feel this when I'm older. So I'm really glad that you brought that up, Brian, because it's all about preventative and really applying all of this knowledge of wellness and yoga to yourself, especially for the DJs, because you, like I said, like that's the thing. Sometimes you have a 4-hour set. How long are you standing like that? No seats. Or do you have the right shoes on? Have you stretched? Have you drank water? Have you even really moved your head around other than the range of your turntable to the computer? I mean, it's you're constrained to a certain amount of movement. So I'm so glad, Ryan, that you're actually kicking this off and that it was through the inspiration of your DJ friends that were like, I need this. This is key. This is so key. So I'm excited to have you next week.
Next
Now,
Thursday.
Ryan, tell us all about that. Ryan, I'm gonna hide and not turn on my camera.
Okay, that's fine.
But I am excited to stretch. Can you give us a little? What can we expect, and what do you think we would need to prep for having you next week?
You don't need to prep anything. Like if you have a yoga mat, that's great. But if you just do it on your floor or on your bed, that's fine too. Everything we're gonna do is gonna be on the mat. So it's gonna be very chill and good deep stretches. A lot of things that are really good for your hands, your fingers, your wrists, your arms, your shoulders, opening your chest, and then I'm always do a series on strengthening the spine. And that's like the peak of the class is like kind of like these like spine exercises that really get your spine into the place it needs to be for you to be like maximum posture and comfort. And then I feel like the overall effect is just very opening and very gentle and very grounding. And it's perfect for beginners, and you totally don't even have to be a DJ. That's like kind of the joke to me is like, yes, DJs suffer from a specific set of issues, but we all kind of suffer from the same issues. Anyone who's on a computer all day could benefit from being in this class. And I'm always going to keep it open to anyone, but it is for DJs.
Yeah. And I mean, even like you said, even if it's like a laptop, I mean, we're constantly doing this too. And you're looking at your phone and your like neck's like at this weird angle. So I'm really excited,
So excited.
to have you. Yeah, well, this is definitely much needed. And I know that we had talked about this as like the silver lining of quarantine, that something like this is that you're able to share another set of something that you love with us, and do yoga for DJs. Now, do you do this? But so aside of you being our special guest next Thursday, please give us more information about that. Do you have an Instagram? Do you do this on a certain
Started
day?
Instagram, but I haven't like started it. I just kind of like nabbed the name. But what it is a Zoom meeting Monday nights at 7:30, and anyone who wants to come, like, just get at me, shoot me your email, and I'll add you to the list, and you'll get the invite every Monday, and you can just join in whenever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. We are so excited. So guys,
So sweet of you, Ryan.
yeah, next Thursday, register at ladiesofsound.com. And if you have our newsletter, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time next Thursday. Hope to see you guys there. And then last
Ooh.
thing I wanted to
Oh, whip out my map.
Yeah.
So Ryan, look at what you've just released. What is going on? If you guys don't follow Ryan, please do. The promo has been amazing, and I would love to hear more about what On Tilt is all about.
On Tilt is our anthem to the city of Los Angeles. It's a hip hop track, and hip hop is the thing that unites Carl, Noah, and I, is the love for hip hop. That's like what brought us together, and kind of like the perspective we all come from when we make music, even though we don't only make hip hop music. But we love LA, and this song is, I love this song. I love like boom bap hip hop, but we put our own twist on it, and there's some musicality, and it's actually the first official release where I've ever gotten to scratch on a track. And that was a really big deal for me, because we've put out 4 other songs, and there wasn't really a place for cuts at the time, and I think it was more like, okay, you can scratch at the live shows and do your thing, but like as far as recordings go, we're good. Which I got, but when I got this beat, I was like, oh shit, this beat is dope. I love cutting to it, and they left a little spot for me, like at the end and after each hook. So I was like, shit, like I gotta do it. I gotta step up and do it. And I did it. And it was the first time I actually like wrote a hook and recorded it myself. Carl helped me and sent it to the guys. And I was like, this is like what I want to add to the song if you guys are down. And they were. And that was a really big moment for me. So
Yeah. I bet just because of growing up as a hip hop head, you hear all these cuts and all these songs, right? And then when you start DJing, you're probably like, oh, how did he do that? Like, or maybe you're like, oh, I actually know how to do that scratch that he does in the song. So
right.
How tight for you to have your own little, part on a song recorded.
It was a big step for me. And obviously DJ Premier is like a huge influence, and that was like my first go-to for inspiration. And it was really cool to go back and listen in this new way after learning everything I had through my education with Beat Junkies and Shorty, and being like, oh shit, yo, he's just doing a really funky stab chirp combination. I can do that shit.
You can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really cool. And like, I did that a year ago, and I still like it. So that's cool too, because I was kind of like, shit, like, you get better. So then when your stuff comes out like hell of later, you're like,
oh.
But it's so cool. And that's why, like, I love my partners and the people I collaborate with, because they wouldn't let me get away with something that was whack, and like, I feel like I can always trust them. And they're really honest with me, and I'm really honest with them. And this was just like such a cool track to be a part of. And I love my part. And the other day, it's like all about LA, and the lyrics are all about LA. And the other day, I was actually driving across the town on the 10, playing this song, and it was such a vibe. It just sounds like a hot, kind of messed up day in LA, but everyone's getting it. But like we're all going through our shit, like always.
Yeah.
And it's not what other people think it is. It's only, you could only understand it if you live here.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. And now it's available on all platforms, so we can catch it on Spotify, Apple Music. Where else can we catch it, right?
Well,
SoundCloud, is it on
tonight,
there?
if you guys want, at 7:30, we're doing the world premiere of the video on YouTube.
There we go. Where can we, on YouTube? Okay, Tyrone's Jacket YouTube?
Yeah, this is the Tyrone's Jacket YouTube channel. We scheduled it so it's like a live premiere. It goes on at 7:30, and we'll be there in the chats, and we'll be there like going back and forth with people. I think I'm gonna DJ a little bit before we start. And yeah, we're just gonna celebrate, man. It's been a fucked up day. I was like, Carl, when I'm done with Ladies of Sound, I want the bomb. I want the big.
You're like, I need it all. Yeah.
I need all of it at one time. I want to mix it all.
Yes, let's do that. B, hold that up again. Look at B was holding up. Oh, can we see?
Hey, that's it, girl. Thank you.
Oh, yes, I'm excited.
On action. Put it on
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you for checking out our Spotify.
Yeah. So we all know what we're going to do right after this. You guys make sure to go to Tyrone's Jacket YouTube, please, and check that out. And hang out with Ryan and catch your DJ. So I know we're about to run out of time, but if anybody isn't shy or hasn't put the question in the chat, if you have any questions for Ryan, please type a 1 and let us know. Where's my chat box? I can't.
I'm an open book, I promise.
Do I see any? I'm sorry, I can't find my chat box right now. But don't be shy. No one has questions. Oh,
Jordan has one.
Yay, Jordan. Welcome back. If you don't mind unmuting yourself, Jordan, speak to Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. Thank you for being here. I got really excited about this today because I am super into music and wellness. I'm personally about to start my sound bowl journey, so we'll see how that goes. But I just wanted to know, like, how do you, or I guess that is how you balance DJing. I didn't really have a question. I just kind of wanted to talk. But, what's your favorite thing about Yoga for DJs?
I love empowering people. And I love that, like, I could give you a tool that's yours, and then you could take that and, like, fix your body. That's so cool, right?
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm so glad you wanted to talk. I wanted to talk.
Thanks, Jordan. Yeah.
We'll all see each other next Thursday.
What's that?
Jordan's gonna jump in next Thursday, so that's gonna be awesome, right? We'll get our
Jordan, I actually listen to a lot of crystal bowls and a lot of like gongs and shit like that when I'm exercising or doing yoga or Pilates. Music is really distracting for me. So if I'm trying to zone out or relax or focus, I can't listen to it. But like something like a crystal bowl is so powerful when you really want to focus your mind.
Yeah, you gotta tune into those frequencies. It's so nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when you do listen to music, I feel like you pick up on a whole bunch of different stuff too.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited. I can't wait to like hear and see what you do.
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. All right. Does anybody else have a question for Ryan?
That's cool too.
Or forever hold your peace.
Well, we'll see her next Thursday. Too,
yeah, we'll see you next Thursday. So because Ryan has to get going, I don't want to hold you guys too long. So that concludes that. Again, follow Ryan at RyeToast on Instagram, SoundCloud, type in RyeToast, and then check out her website, guys, djryetoast.com. You can see more amazing pictures, get all the links.
Everything.
All her mixes, like, man, if you are looking to build your website and you don't know what to put on it, that's definitely a great site to check out because Ryan has all her stuff on point, as you can see through everything that she shared with us today. And yeah, don't forget to follow. And also drop your Instagram handles as well, so maybe Ryan can follow back and vice versa. And you guys already know we do our quarantines. Check out our Spotify. Sorry we haven't updated. But, also on Spotify is Tyrone's Jacket. Don't forget to follow them on Spotify and on Apple Music as well. And then hit play a lot on.
Yeah, get those streams up.
Play it in the middle of the night. Play it while you're sleeping.
Yeah, just play. Anytime you can. And follow. Share it on your Instagram stories as well.
Thank you, guys.
Of course. And you guys already know we have homeroom on beatjunkies.tv if you haven't signed up. We'll be doing free classes here and there. We should be making some announcements. If you guys want to get, work at the dojo and, just sharpen your skills and get your foundation skills on, please join, beatjunkies.tv. We have over 350 videos on top of our live interactive classes, which are homeroom. So very much for that. And then today also, after Ryan and Tyrone's Jacket, we have another thing that's going on. So you guys saw us on Inside Lands this past Saturday. Hey, they're also going online. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because we wanted to highlight them in our Sisterhood Spotlight. Shout out to Kat. They are actually going to be doing Nurses of Sound today. So I mentioned before, we actually have a lot of healthcare workers that have attended the school, and we thank you guys so much for everything that you do. We know your job is not easy, and thank you for all of the just everything that you do in the hospitals. We know it's not easy right now, especially right now, but they're actually going to be playing for their coworkers who are going through all the craziness of COVID. Music has been something that's been healing for them. So what's really cool is they've actually had some of their supervisors say, hey, yeah, let's play some music for the staff to kind of brighten everyone's spirits. And the people that are playing are a lot of our nurses of sound. And I'm really excited to see daddy-daughter duo. So Sam Texon, who goes by DJ Texon, his daughter X-Sam will also be playing with him. He also works out and, he's an RT and, with respiratory therapy. So, he sees firsthand what's going on. So please support them and check them out. And they're going to be going on tonight as well. I believe at 7 o'clock, and they'll be going till 9. And that's part of our live stream listens, which is another, section that we also have today when it comes to support, sharing the Sisterhood Spotlight. But also we wanted to highlight our exhibition debut of Ladies of Sound. And B, she is on the chat today. We have Jenny Spice, Marissa Monroe, Kauai, aka This Moment, Nina Ross. Plus, she's also, worked at the Day Market with us. And then, of course, IFTW and Which is how you pronounce it. I'm so sorry. But yes, they're going to be streaming live May 31st on Sunday. Please check them out as well and go and support.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Honeydew is going to be on this stream at 10 a.m.
Who? I'm sorry, say that again, Ryan.
Honeydew, me and Jahan's first episode that we filmed is going to be on this lineup, but at 10 a.m.
Oh, good to know.
I did not know that. So yes, so you guys check that out at 10 a.m. on Sunday, which brings us here. So live stream listens, you guys listen to Rye Toast on SoundCloud. She has just put that out not too long ago, very recent, during quarantine.
Really dope mix.
And I apologize, there's something that's a little typo on there, but I had the actual honor of being on the Honeydew podcast. So if you guys don't know, Ryan also, and I'm so sorry we didn't get a chance to talk about that, but we'll talk about that some more. Honeydew is a podcast that Ryan does with Allura, aka Jahan. Please tell us a little bit about that before you go, Ryan. You have so many amazing guests, and I was actually very lucky to be one of them. But I would love to hear more about Honeydew.
Oh my gosh, Honeydew is just such a joy. I loved your episode, and right now we kind of like we decided to, well, it's me and Jahan, we're like DJs on this grind, tight ass homies. Just we just felt like we were DJing together and doing events and stuff. But actually, I think that one day we came to visit you, Maricel, in Glen Park. We met for lunch, and on the way home, we called my husband and we were both talking to him on the Bluetooth, and he was like, "You guys sound like a cartoon together." We were like, "Oh shit, let's do a podcast."
Yeah. You can
So-
actually find that on Spotify too, guys. Check that out.
Yeah, so we talked to a lot of people in our community, a lot of women. We love to spotlight and empower women, especially women who are in our industry, like you, Maricel, and a lot of other DJs that we've had. Sammy, I know we're gonna have you coming up pretty soon.
Oh, the COVID happened right when we were supposed to. Yeah.
But we kind of shifted gears during the pandemic after we put out all our pre-made content, and we were like, what's interesting right now? So we started to do a deep dive into conversations with different people in our community about relationships. And so we're taking it like topic by topic right now instead of guest by guest. And we're interviewing a bunch of different people about the same topic. And then we're going to put out a series of content, starting with an interview on Sunday, which is Jahan and I interviewing ourselves, interviewing each other on like our relationship with ourselves and how it's shifted during quarantine. And then we're going to launch into these other episodes with guests where it's a one-on-one between me and someone we know about like their situation in pandemic, and Jahan's doing that one-on-one with like her community, and then we're like mixing it together and putting it out. And I think the next thing we want to tackle after that is the discussion of racism, which feels so present right now. And I feel really inspired to talk about it, to talk about solutions, to talk about what everybody's doing. And I just think those are important things to hear and to spread and to grow. So that's kind of my focus. Our focus with Honeydew now really is how can we use it to impact everyone, and after you listen that you feel better than before, you know, like how can we use this to help our community?
Yeah.
And I think we already have been doing that, but now we're just getting a little more intentional about it. And check this out, this weekend, Honeydew LA is DJing Los Angeles Unified School District virtual prom.
Shut up.
Yo, they called me and hit me up, and they were like, "We want you and DJ Mustard," and I was like, "I'm available." And then DJ Mustard dropped out, so they were like, "Is there anyone that you could do it with?" And I was like, "I know just the bitch."
Yay, I love that.
Right, put your girls on. That's
Yeah,
Guys,
and
they met at the school, and that's what I love seeing is like they're this dynamic duo. Please listen to their podcast. They are so fun to be around. And so getting interviewed by, I don't know, I was so nervous, but their energy together is like, I can't even, you guys love Ryan right now. You imagine her and Jahan or Laura together. It's so fun.
powerful. We've had some really magical moments on the podcast, and I love giving women a chance to speak and just being able to listen, because sometimes that's all you need, and all of a sudden you're spitting all this wisdom you didn't even know that you had just because someone asked you a simple question. And I've watched that switch get flipped for myself and also for people that we've had as guests. So that's another part of the empowerment mission, is helping people, empower them to use their voice more.
Yeah, I definitely, thank you, Ryan, for everything you do. And you guys, please check that out. They have some amazing guests that they've had on their podcast. And I love that you guys are doing this. Your pivot in terms of the podcast is going to be bringing something new. And that's going to be on Sunday, again, 10 a.m. At the Exhibition channel. So please make sure you check that out. And Ryan, I cannot wait to see that virtual prom with you and Jahan. That is so cool. Congratulations.
She's never been to a prom either because she's British. So
Yeah.
she's oh my God, prom. Let me take you to prom.
So funny. That's so funny. Are you gonna wear your dress? You should wear your big poofy dress.
Girl, I do have my prom outfit and it still fits, but I don't know.
Wish I could say the same.
Like in a different fashion zone than I was at that time.
That's
Well, we know
funny.
you're going to come with it, and we are so excited for all of that. And you guys, Ryan is going to be back next Thursday with Yoga for DJ, so don't miss out on
I'm
that. And
so
again,
excited.
in a few minutes, you guys want to keep on enjoying the vibe with Ryan and checking out the debut for Tyrone's Jacket and their new single, go to YouTube and check that out on Tyrone's Jacket. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Thanks for being here.
all
Thank you
so much
guys for coming.
Thank you, B. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, G. Thank you, Alina. Thank you, Angie. And you guys stay healthy and come check out our premiere if you have a few more minutes. We're gonna party. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Woo!
See
Thank
you
you
the
so
next
much. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Thanks for doing this. It really it was really nice to I needed this. Thank
Of
you.
course, Rai. I miss you, and I hope you're well. And I cannot wait to hug everybody again, but especially you, Rai. Thank you for always being down and supporting the sound and the school. I always feel the same about you, and I got your back. And thank you again. And I'm so happy that you are here today with us. And I'll see you.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Everyone. Bye.